everybody, to another episode of DNA Crows. My name is Andrew, your host, the ComicCrowe, and this
is Dean of DA Talks. Tonight we have a more serious discussion to talk about. We're going to be discussing the shooting in Denver at a high school.
I think it was a STEM specific.
STEM. I can pull up the name of the school right now.
Yeah. I wound up talking with Eureka Weekly. We did a quick podcast that he's going to be hosting, and we talked a little bit about this, but going into it a little bit more, the shooting claimed one life. I'm sure you know the details a little bit more.
Yeah.
Kendrick Castillo. And a couple of things that I want to address is, first off, this is not to politicize what happened at all. I think, I don't know if you heard about what happened at the vigil.
Yeah, I heard students had walked out because they were trying to politicize it instead of talking about Kendrick.
It was supposed to be a vigil to mourn Kendrick's loss. Kendrick and I believe another student actually wrestled one of the shooters to the ground.
Yeah, and I believe it was 3 students tried to wrestle one of the gunmen, and one of them, Kendrick, ended up getting shot in the chest.
Yeah, and as tragic as that is, I think it's important to acknowledge it obviously could have been much worse without them jumping in.
Well, it definitely could have. There was 2 gunmen. We're not going to name them. One of them isn't being named. They are a transgender juvenile. The other one's an 18-year-old. We're not going to be naming them. If you want to
look
find the names, all you have to do is just look it up. It's in articles.
Honestly, I think that one of the things that I don't see why we keep naming these shooters. Obviously, they want to get attention. Stop naming them. Stop. The whole point was at the vigil, like with a lot of these incidents, it did become political. It basically wound up turning in a vigil to mourn Kendrick into a gun control rally.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
And here's the thing: is you can have those talks, but I mean,
let people mourn. Let people grieve.
Know the place and time. I mean, that's a pretty simple, basic human.
Everybody needs to do this. And I one of the things happened when they walked out. They were chanting Kendrick's name, but then the students went outside and they started chanting mental health. And that's one of the things. Guns are a tool, obviously. Just because you pick up a gun doesn't mean that you suddenly lose your mind, get deranged, and go out and do an act like this. It takes somebody who is not all there, who's they're separated from society for whatever reason, whether that be because they feel ostracized, or because they fell into a bad crowd, or because there's something really wrong with them mentally. That's the only way I can describe this. I mean,
I don't know.
If you're a happy, functioning person, you don't go out there and have these killer intentions. It's just not how this works. I think one of the things that does bother me when people fight each other over politics and everything, it usually seems because they can't believe that the other person will have any good intention. But most people do, and most people have good intentions. Most people see a sick animal on the side of the road and they feel bad for it and they want to help. There are far fewer scumbags in the world than there are good, decent people. So when someone does something like that, especially when you're that young, there's something,
obviously something not fully there in these 2 young kids, I guess I will call them.
They ain't adults.
They're the young adults.
I know one of them's 18, but still.
Yeah, the other's a juvenile, but
their lives are over.
Yeah. But I mean, I do believe that we at some point do need to have a serious mental health talk. But I think right now it's just important to mourn the loss.
Yeah. I mean, this happened a few days back, I believe.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a video on this, but I definitely didn't want to just post something out as soon as possible, and let people actually.
It's important to get all the facts and give people time to adjust.
There's that chasing that rage bait, and obviously a school shooting could outrage so many people, but you need to let the students who are there, who lost a friend. You need to let them mourn before you start going into conversations about this. But obviously, you do want to prevent it. I have my ideas of what would prevent that. I went into a lot of that when I spoke with Eureka. But beyond that, guns, again, they're just a tool. You take guns away, you wind up like the UK. I know less gun violence, but a rash of knife attacks, and you'll be trying to restrict the sale of knives. There's a problem here. There's a problem in society. I don't know what it is. I'll say this forever. I don't know what it is. But when we don't talk about it, when we instantly blame guns and we think that getting rid of guns are going to solve it, and again, I don't know if that sounds too political. I just mean we need to address the problem, not a symptom of the problem.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you wanted to know my opinion on it, I think we just need to have a serious mental health checkup.
Something,
I'm a strong believer of gun rights, but like I said, we don't want to get too political right now. But I do believe that right now we should be having a conversation about mental health. It's important to check in on those who you think are maybe having a rough go of things, people who seem distant. These people generally seem to feel ostracized, and I'm not saying these people are victims because they're not, but I do believe that something can be done to prevent this type of behavior.
Yeah,
and doing nothing isn't going to solve it, so maybe try doing something like reaching out.
And again, if you do feel like you're not engaging in society, if you're not engaging with other people, if you're spending all your time online getting angry, if you're only friends, and I don't want to say bad influences, but if they're only spreading negativity around you, get out into different environments. You need something positive in your life. You need to focus on good things. And if you feel like you're being left out, if you feel like the world's moving past you, do what you can to reach out. Talk to somebody. Talk to your family. Talk to a friend. Talk to a stranger, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Just do something. Reach out to. There's so many communities you can reach out to.
I don't want to get too off topic, but reaching out to a stranger can actually. No, I'm being serious. Like, it can actually be very nice. I struggle with depression sometimes. Honestly, talking to strangers is nice. You don't feel judged. I mean, because here's the thing: is maybe they do judge you, but
I mean, if you're
who are they? They're a stranger. And I don't want to get too off topic, but it can actually seem very nice.
If you're 21, I don't like going out and drinking. Don't get me wrong, but go out to a bar, talk to some people, try to make friends somewhere. But
also, on the other side of things, reach out to those who you think maybe are having a rough time.
Yeah.
It's important that we try to tackle this from both ends.
Yeah, and again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching the video. If you ever need anybody to talk to, he always needs friends on Twitter.
No, I'm seriously always down to talk with anybody. Serious talk, fun talk, just having a rough go of things, not feeling super happy, or you want to tell me about something good that's going on in your life, I will be here.
Something bad happened at work, something bad happened at school, something rough happened with your girl or your guy. Talk to people, their communities. I think we've definitely seen that there are definitely more positive influences than negative influences. So try to see past the bad stuff.
Yeah, there's so much bad out there, but
there's so much more good.
There is so much more good. It's just often covered by a thick fog of bad. But if you can get past that thick fog, you'll see a endless glory of good.
We tend to focus on the negative things, I think, just as people. Those things tend to stick with us a little bit harder up here, but just remember, there's always going to be people to talk to. Like, my little brother's available. I'm available. Our Twitter handles are in the description. If you're having a rough time, I mean, believe me, I wasn't very popular in high school. I definitely felt like I was being picked on a lot. I had a very small group of friends back then who definitely helped me out. I started watching anime. I started engaging those communities. Just a little escapist fantasy that was always fun. I hear those stories about how you shouldn't play these games like Fortnite. For fuck's sakes, Fortnite.
Yeah.
But have fun.
I mean, you shouldn't play it just because it's a shit game. But
play Minecraft. Go outside and build something.
Go play old school RuneScape. I don't know. I always hated RuneScape, but a lot of people like it.
I would say play World of Warcraft, but that is it's very RNG heavy.
And also, Jaden Smith plays it, so just avoid that altogether.
You know who else plays it? Mila Kunis.
Yeah, but I mean, if you do
Henry Cavill.
If you do play, I'm just joking. I don't actually give a shit.
I'm just
do whatever makes you happy. And like I said, if you do need to reach out to anybody and you see this video, you can always reach out to me. I'm seriously always down to talk.
Anytime,
I could use more friends. I could totally use more friends.
If you're just having a bad day, focus on the positives. And if you really have trouble doing that, reach out to a friend. Or, if you don't have any friends, or if you really feel you can't talk to people, reach out to us. We're always
I'll be
for
your
a
friend.
good conversation.
I mean, mostly I'm just avoiding this guy right here. He's the only person I'm not trying to be friends with. So
yeah, I keep trying to. It's okay though. I got the power base. So
yeah.
Anyways, thank you for watching today. If there's anything you need, please leave a comment.
Let us
hit
know.
us up on Twitter. We're always around.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Have a great night.